guys, it's Shauna. I hope you're doing good. Today I made a little video for you about the Sacral Chakra, the second chakra. So I did one about the root chakra, the first chakra, so this is number 2. About the Sacral Chakra. So we're moving up the spine, so the area of the body where that chakra is located is a little bit above the tailbone area, but still below the belly button. So it's like right in the low belly, like right, just like the name, you know, sacral, where your sacrum is. So this chakra is associated with the color orange, and it rules over the hips and the reproductive organs. So we started with the first chakra, the root. That was our foundation. So that chakra is very solid, very grounded, very dense. That first chakra, if you were to give it an element, it's typically associated with the earth or like a mountain or something like that, like very solid, right? So the second chakra, the sacral chakra, is associated with movement and water and flow. So because of this, it rules over things that are a little more flowy, a little softer. The sacral chakra has a little bit more of a feminine kind of energy. That's not to say that it's a female chakra or anything like that. Guys have this chakra too. But just it has that quality, that more soft, feminine, receptive kind of quality. And so so you'll notice that this chakra may be out of balance if you have any issues with your hips, or especially any issues with the reproductive organs. This can be an issue with men, but I feel like with women it can be a biggie as well. And I'll go into why in a second. So I think the biggest thing with the sacral chakra is to pay attention to when there are more severe issues with the reproductive organs, and this could be anything. It could be like a UTI, it could be a yeast infection, or it could be something, again, more advanced, where it's like precancerous cells, or even cancer itself, or you know, even like if there's like a cyst or something like that in the ovary, sometimes that happens. So the longer that it takes for something to develop, like for example cancer, that's a sign that there's an issue related to the sacral chakra, things that has been going on for a while. So things related to the sacral chakra, obviously, because it rules over the reproductive organs, very much associated with sexuality and sensuality and passion and primal, like primal needs, primal desires, also creativity. Look at my notes. Very much, you know, involved in relationships too. In the sacral chakra, we're moving up from the base, where the root chakra is very much about boundaries and like me and mine. The sacral chakra is when we're moving out into the world and seeing the boundary between us, between myself and another, and how those two interrelate, how we relate to people, how we take care of ourselves, and how we treat others. Those are very sacral chakra things. So to get back to if there's issues going on there, you know that it could be an issue in any one of those things, whether it's sexuality, relationships, taking care of yourself, I feel like this one is kind of a biggie in our society just because as Americans, we're so focused on accomplishment and being driven and pushing and being efficient and multitasking, you know, like that's the thing, right? Like everyone's like, are you a multitasker? Like that's like so valued. Like if someone stays late at work, they're like the best employee, right? When in reality that person could be just fucking off the whole day and like not really doing anything. I'm not saying that people that work late are fucking off, but you know what I mean. My point is, sorry, total side tangent there. My point is that we're so driven. We're so driven. And the sacral chakra is about pleasure and enjoyment for the pure sake of experiencing pleasure. And we don't always allow ourselves that. And you'll notice that you may have hip issues or issues with maybe the reproductive organs or anything in that general sacrum area if you're not allowing yourself a little bit of time to just experience pleasure and enjoyment. And when I say pleasure, I don't mean purely sexual pleasure. I mean just like enjoying a really delicious, amazing meal and like really tasting it, really taking your time to have the senses enjoy that meal versus like trying to eat as fast as you can while you're rushing out the door to get to your appointment or work on time or whatever. Like there's a very big difference in those two experiences, right? One is very calming and soothing and the other one is a little bit rushed and forced and makes you a little bit stressed. So things that you can do to balance out the sacral chakra. I'm going to make another video with some specific poses, but to give you an idea, anything where you're moving, stretching, strengthening the hips is going to be really fantastic for the sacral chakra. I did another video where it's yoga for a desk job and there's a hip stretch in there. That one is really great. Also, allowing yourself to slow down and have a sensory experience is really nice. So this you can do a multitude of ways. It can be through eating something, through eating. It can be using aromatherapy, like before you go to bed, one thing I like to do is I'll put like a little bit of aromatherapy on my wrists or the bottoms of my feet and just like take that in. You can also do it with a bath, but sometimes before bed is nice because it's more time efficient. So there's that. I mean, you know, there's also things like massage. Pick something that resonates with you, but I would say make it a sense, whether it's like listening to music, touch, taste, smell. Pick a sense and allow yourself to enjoy that. That's something that's really going to help balance out the sacral chakra. Sacral chakra is very much related to feelings as well. And so that's why I think maybe you might have heard that a lot of people say that we store feelings, we store really deep emotions in our hips. And there's that typical association because the sacral chakra is so interlinked with feelings, and especially like really sticky emotions that are not really pretty to talk about a lot of times. Things like guilt, shame, fear, anxiety, things that we don't really talk about very often. And so that's also why I feel like there's a lot of things where there's some type of ailment that has been going on for a long time because we'll push those things down, those emotions, that stuff that we don't want to talk about with anyone, and it's not just going to go away. it's going to manifest physically in some way. And that's okay. It's not it happens. We're human. The biggest thing is when you do have an issue to pay attention to it and to see, like why is this happening? What in my life am I choosing to ignore? And how can I look at that, and how can I think a big question too to ask yourself is, how can I experience and acknowledge my emotions and be okay with that? So what does that mean? That means when you feel something like guilt or shame, instead of telling yourself, I shouldn't feel that, know that you're feeling that, and that's okay, and it will pass. I promise. Sometimes when we're feeling an emotion, especially jealousy too is a big one, when, because like, if you're in a secure relationship, you shouldn't feel jealous, right? Like, shouldn't. But sometimes you do. We're human. It happens. And when you feel that, like, that's especially, that's the other thing about these emotions that I'm talking about. Fear, jealousy, guilt. Those are all, like, very primal emotions. Those are things that come up, and sometimes they come out of nowhere, and we're like, what the fuck was that? Like, why am I feeling this right now? And it's typically better not to reject that, because when you reject it, it's still going to be there, and it's even going to become stronger. I'm not saying that you need to act on any of these feelings. What I'm saying is acknowledge that they're in there, and they're there for a reason. Sometimes we just need to, like, allow that feeling to come up and to be like, all right, like, I'm feeling this, and I don't like it, but I'm feeling it, and it's here, and it's okay. Sometimes that's enough. Sometimes we need to look at why we're feeling that way. Like in the case of jealousy, maybe if it's jealousy in a marriage, are you feeling that way because there's some sense of insecurity? Is there something that your partner is doing that makes you feel insecure, or is it, body issues that you have even? I don't know, this is just a hypothetical example. But hopefully you get my drift. Like, when that, bottom line, my point is, when there's a really strong emotion like that, it's best to allow it to come up, not to push it away, and to feel it fully. And it will pass. It will. I promise. So sacral chakra, senses, experiencing emotions, experiencing a sensual experience, taste, touch, scent, and anything with the hips. Exercising, stretching out the hips is going to be really beneficial. So that is your sacral chakra. I hope you guys like this and found it useful. If you found it useful, or if you have any questions, please leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe so that you can get all of my other videos too. I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll see you soon. Namaste.